Hello, hello, hello. I have a bunch of rhododendron here. And I'm going to show you how you can do a foot treatment with rhododendron flower petals or rose flower petals or blue flag iris, which maybe I will make tomorrow, over there, either over there or here, and I have to collect about 50 of those. Beautiful bouquet of blue flag iris. And all of those are antiviral and anti-carcinogenic even. These are very, very powerful. This is powerful, powerful medicine. I still have my gun. It's a nice cow. Oh, good color. Same color as this Omar. So, okay. Here is the foot treatment. Yeah, I will do this differently. I put this down here. Show the foot treatment better. And the flower. This is what you do. You smash them and then you massage it onto the bottom of your feet. That is what you do. And you roll it over the bottom of your feet and also on the top too. And it's very good to bend the toes forward like this. It's real good. Very healing. Very relaxing. Everyone can do it. Everyone can do this. Danny and MK Ultra and WC Davis and Gerdwin and anyone out there, any mafia man, any corporate collaborator. You don't need money for this. Okay, that's the beauty of this. There's no money needed. No girlfriend needed, no prestige, no Cadillac needed for this, no Camaro Stingray or Ferrari needed for this, okay? You sit down on the lawn and you roll flower petals over your feet, okay, for an hour, okay. This is my highest recommendation to you. Do that. And smell the flowers and the trees and the grass. And your dog. Dogs smell heavenly. So, do that every single day. Every day. Do that. Every day. It is a wonderful spa that is free of charge and available to every living being on earth. Okay? And the earth is a beautiful paradise if we treated the earth well. Then every region on earth would be a paradise if we treated the earth well. But most humans don't know how to treat the earth well. Okay? So that's why I make these videos. Most people don't know how to treat themselves well. Okay? They don't know how to treat others well. They don't know how to treat animals well. They don't know how to treat our plants well, the trees, nature, natural resources. They don't know. Okay, so that's why I make these videos. Because I know how to create a paradise. I know. 100%. And even if other people don't do things right, you can still do things right. Okay? So that's the beauty of it, of existence. The Buddhists always say, you can live a life of peace in times of war. Okay? It is up to you. It's up to you whether you participate in war or in peace. Okay. Completely up to you. It's up to you to decide whether you want to work for the mafia, the corporate agenda, the military, or whether you don't want to work for them, or whether you want to, or whether you work for them and you decide to not work for them anymore. And you write a letter of conscientious objection, which my brother has done in Germany. Okay. So, and that's the right thing to do it. Because we were not brought up in a militant way. And that's what I like about any kind of religion or philosophy that is radically pro-peace, like Jehovah's Witnesses and the Buddhists. Okay, so that's what I like about them. There are other things that I don't like about them, and that's why I am not religious. I stick to my own philosophy. But any kind of group or association that practices peace, and they would rather go to prison than go to war, as the Jehovah's Witnesses do. I don't know what the Buddhists do. I think they do that the same thing. So they'd rather go to prison than be drafted. Okay, so now that gets my highest respect, for sure. That gets my highest respect. That's a good thing to do. You don't need a religion for that, though. But unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people need to have a mentor. They seek that. They want to be told what's right or wrong. That's so sad, actually. But if that's what it is, then I hope that my videos can be a mentor of some sort. But I don't want anyone to think that because you get some ideas or some philosophical thoughts from someone that you have to never question that person. You have to question everyone. You have to question me. You have to question everything. Okay? Question it, try it out. Try things out for yourself and see if it works. Okay? Does it work to behead people? Is that working? No, it's not working. Is it working to incarcerate women? No, it's not. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make your body happy. Okay? It doesn't make the victims happy. It makes people suffer. It makes animals suffer. So it doesn't work, obviously. Peace, however, works. Peace works. Peace always works. Peace, kindness, loving kindness, Maitri, Metta Bhavana. Okay. Vishnu Purana. That's the purity of the blue god. Vishnu Purana. Let's listen to the blue god. Let's listen to the infinity. That's your highest mentor. The blue sky and nature. Listen to your body. Listen to your body more than listen to anyone with health advice and doctors that are trying to make money on you. Listen to your body. Your body knows. My body knows. My feet know that this year is good. Yeah. My body looks forward to this. I feel it in my entire body. Yeah. Looking forward to this year, doing this year. This is incredibly healing. Everyone can do it. You can do it wherever you live. Even if you live in New York City, you can go into the large park. You pick some rose petals or flowers, whatever is blooming. Okay, flower petals, and then you sit there on the grass and you do this. Wherever you are, a lot of people live at the equator. You have an abundance of flowers there. Abundance. An endless abundance of flowers. Don't take it for granted. pick those flowers and squish them like this and massage it onto your feet or your body. There's a lady in Costa Rica, I think she is, a native, and she does that. She wipes flowers over people's bodies. It's very, very good. I was so happy to see that. That's someone else is doing that as well. It's very healing to do this. All the energy healers in the world know that the plants are our medicine. The plants are our healers. The plants are pure. They disinfect and much more. They cure virus infections. They cure fungal infections. They cure bacterial infections. They're antiseptic. They are very, very good to put on any kind of sore also. Wound healing. They are anti-carcinogenic. They rebalance your body. This also goes into the bloodstream too. Whatever you put on your skin also goes into the bloodstream. That's why it's important that we put pure things on our bodies. Pure skin creams, like those from Velida and Dr. Hauschka, very important. The other ones are okay too, but it is better to use plant oil than petroleum oil. Okay. Much better. But petroleum oil is not bad either. But plant oil is always more healing. Petroleum oil is a derivative from the fossil fuel industry, and it contains some dinosaurs. So it's not totally bad, but it's a very saturated oil, of course. Petroleum products, Vaseline and stuff like that. Very, very saturated oil. That kind of, it's okay too for certain things, but it kind of clogs the pores a little bit. So it's better to use plant-based oils. If you have money, then you can buy real expensive pure organic olive oil. That's probably the best. This here also colors your clothes. You can color your clothes with rhododendron flowers. It works. You can actually make paint out of this. You can make aquarelle paint out of this. That's very nice. Our teacher got us aquarelle paint when we were children, made out of plants, made out of flowers. That was very interesting, very nice. I have some hair on my legs, but very little hair. I can pluck that out individually, like this here. Pluck them out individually. I like doing that. I don't know why. It feels nice. I don't even need to buy those waxing strips, although they make it easier. It's much quicker, of course, than pulling the hair out individually. But this works too. At least for me it works, because I don't have that much hair as most people have. I mean, most women have. Men have a whole lot of hair, but most women have more hair than I have on my legs. So the Scandinavian women have less hair on their body because they have a lot less testosterone. Middle Eastern women have a lot of hair on their bodies because they have a lot more testosterone. This is how we evolve. That's how things evolve. Okay. It's evolution. I also have the spray bottle here for the baby doll. It smells pretty good. I don't know, the ingredients are not that. The ingredients sound pretty. Propylene glycol is an antifreeze. I don't know. But I guess it's okay. I'm not a chemist. I don't know much about all of these different ingredients. Hydrogenated castor oil. I don't think that's very good. Hydrogenated oils are not very. That's not very good, particularly not for eating. So I don't know how that is for the body. But this works also very well as a mosquito repellent. I'm very surprised. Earlier I came here, sat here. Mosquitoes came all over me, like hundreds. I sprayed this stuff on my arms and my hair, and they all left. All of the mosquitoes left. I'm very surprised. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. That is super. Another thing that works is a baby powder. Any kind of baby powder works very well for mosquitoes. I put that on the baby dog, on his back, and massage that in. That helps. It's very relaxing to pluck hair out of your legs. Okay. And my hair is also like, it's very thin. Very fine, thin hair I have. So, it's been good. My feet are kind of reddish now. Red. From the rhododendron. Okay. So, this was nice. This was awesome. So, I want to talk about how to make the world better. We make the world better by leaving nature pure and clean. By making very conscious choices on what you buy. Very conscious choices. Never ever buy any poisons. Never, never, never buy any poisons. Okay? When you go into a hardware store, I don't even want to go into a hardware store because I can smell in the air, in that large building of the hardware store, I can smell all kinds of toxic things. Pesticides, herbicides, wood treatment kind of stuff, and harsh cleaning supply, and ant killer stuff, and all of that stuff is absolutely horrific. It makes the world suffer. The whole world suffers from that. Don't buy any of that. Ever. Don't even buy mold killer stuff. That is toxic, okay? If you want to get rid of mold, the hardware stores, they have a natural one. But it doesn't even say natural on it because the kind of guys that go there to buy something, they have been already so indoctrinated with the industries and they kind of have internalized the indoctrination and made it into an identification, the man cave type of people, that they don't even buy it if it says natural. I mean, they have been indoctrinated to that point. It to them almost feels like if they buy something natural, then they have to consider themselves gay or Karen or something. I mean, it comes to that point. That's why I observe these kind of things very, very closely. It has absolutely nothing to do with your manliness whether you buy this or that. It has nothing to do with it. But it has something to do with whether you care. And actually has something to do with you being good father material if you reach for the natural solutions. So if I see a man reaching for a natural solution like sodium carbonate for getting rid of mold, which is 100% natural from the earth's sedimentations. Sodium carbonate. Okay? That's all it is. Nothing else in it. Just sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate in a water, in water solution. So it's H2O, water, sodium and carbonate. Sodium carbonate. So this is not sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is baking soda. That works too. But sodium carbonate is stronger than sodium bicarbonate. So that on mold gets rid of mold immediately. Okay? And if I see a man reach for that, I think father material. Okay. I want to meet him. I want to talk to him. I only want friends like that. Only. Any person who's kind, I want to hang out with them. I want to talk to them, be friends with. Okay. So, I think it's very important for me to set these records straight on all of that. Because a lot of people, they are not aware about all of this. They're not consciously aware. They're so indoctrinated, they're running off with commercials, they're running off with decade-long indoctrination. That's what the corporate agenda does to the public. Okay, that's why you need to question them. You need to question all of that. It's very important. And I recommend to people to get a higher education, go back to school. Do everything you can to get your high school diploma, to go to college. It doesn't matter how old you are. Do it. We need internet schools. We need internet classes for people so that they can get that education, that wide spectrum education. It's very important. Paul missed out on wide spectrum education because he was terrified of school. He was terrified. He saw black children beat up white children every day. This was going on every single day. And one time he hit back, and as soon as he hit back, I don't know how old he was, 10 or something, then the black kids ran off and they went to the school manager, and the school manager came and got Paul in trouble. He did not get the other kids in trouble, the aggressors, the ones that started the fight. Instead, he picked him because this type of thing, the woke thing, started long time ago already. This is not something new. This has been rolling up for a very long time. This has been rolling up since the 50s. Okay, and it just intensified. It got worse and worse and worse. So he was terrified to go to school. He was terrified to even defend himself, because then he would get in trouble, and then they would contact his parents, and his dad would hit him, and all of these things. So his dad had been hitting him until he was about 11, and then he hit back. He really punched his back. his dad back. He punched him so hard in the face. At age 11, he was already strong enough that his dad never dared to hit him again. And that's really good. Really, really, really good. And that brings me to a friend of mine I had in Germany a long time ago. We went to a school together, and she told me that she was bullied in school, and like when they were children, and I was bullied too. Here's the difference between her mother and my mother. When she was bullied in school, she came home. Her mother was there for her 100%. And her mother was mad at those kids. And her mother said to her, I want you to punch them back as hard as you can. She did. And they left her alone ever since. I was bullied. I go home. I had to do OCD washing rituals. I was screaming. I felt I was spit on. There were boys that smeared their bread with butter into my hair and my skin. And I was screaming and I was hysterical. And my mother took their side. Okay, my mother, this is real sad, was my mother. A lawyer, a woke lawyer. I mean, those kids, we were all white kids. There weren't any other races in. There was one kid, he was half white and half Brazilian, but white Brazilian obviously, so he had very white skin, so, but attractive, of course. So, and then there were two boys that may have had like a sliver of black, but so far stretched away from that you couldn't really tell. But I thought maybe they did. So, and I liked them too. I think they look really, really good. So, but they were pretty peaceful. They were fairly peaceful. It was the spoiled rich kids, the white spoiled rich kids in that class that were the aggressors, that were the mean ones, that were bullying people. They bullied anyone who wasn't cool enough, wasn't dressed cool enough. I was always a dork, so they bullied me. Particularly one girl and one boy, they bullied me so bad. It was really painful. But in the beginning of Waldorf school, there were a couple of kids that left later on. I don't know why they left. I don't know if they were kicked out. Well, I don't know. But there were two boys. They were like 2 or 3 years older. I don't know. There was something wrong. They were developmentally delayed, or something was not right with them. Or Asperger's or something, or some autism spectrum. And because they were older, they were taller than everyone else. And because they were taller and stronger already, they were like, I was 6 or 7. I was 7, actually. I was 7, and the one guy, René, he was already 10. And because of that, in the school breaks, he would come over and he would always find me. And he would lift me up and hurl me around and like become physical, start to touch me everywhere. And it was, for me, at age 7, it's total horror for a child at 7. Absolute nightmare. That's already molestation, So, but obviously the guy is a child too. But tall and all of that already, very tall and strong. And the other guy too, like 2 years older than me, and helping him with that. And I felt disgusted by them, absolutely grossed out. And when I came home, every time I came home, particularly this one time, this happened many times, but this one time I will never forget how my mother took their side. And she said to me, I don't want to hear about it. You must have done something to them that provoked them to do that to you. I did absolutely nothing. Nothing. I tried to avoid these kids. Okay? So that's what happened to me with my mother. Or when girls were mean to me, my mother would always take the other people's side. And that's very traumatic for a child. This is extremely traumatic. That leaves the child cornered psychologically. No matter where you go, they are not on your side. No matter where you go, there is no justice. No matter where you go, you get bullied, you get harassed, you get beaten up. You have no safe zone to go to. Nowhere is safe. You go back home, you want to cry on your parents' shoulders, and they turn on you. My dad was almost never there. My dad was always busy. He had an architectural business. Never there. My mother was there, and she was very mean to me. And at that time, the nanny wasn't there either at that time. I don't know how the nanny would have reacted. The nanny was nice that we had at that time. I think she was occupied with my baby brother. Or there was another nanny already, we had a lot of different nannies that were coming and going. Some of them were not really clear in the head. Some of them were like very mentally ill, a few of them. One nanny that came from an alcoholic family when I was like 2 or 3. That was also unbelievably traumatic. That nanny was 16. It's like, are my parents clear in the head? She was a smoker. She burned holes into the sheets. And she took my sheets away. She took my pillow away. I was lying there without the blanket. My parents were on vacation. I got bladder infection. Abuse. That's abuse. That's child abuse. So I told my parents that she needed to be burned and beaten. My parents laughed about that. They thought that was funny. It's like, hello, if your child says something like that, there's something not right. Okay? If your child says this person should be beaten and burned, you better listen to that child. I mean, not in terms of beating or burning that person, but you need to listen to the child, because the child isn't saying this for nothing. Okay? Obviously, the child has been mistreated. Okay? So listen to listen to your children when they say something like this. My parents didn't. Okay? Eventually, they kicked her out, but a lot of shit had to happen first. She took me to parties when I was 4 years old. I think I finally mentioned the parties with the joints, with the marijuana joints and all of that. I think that finally did it. And on those parties, I was handed from one person to another to sit on their laps, sit on men's laps also, and they were touching me everywhere. So it's child abuse, okay? It's rough. This is rough. And that kind of abuse stays with the person for the rest of their life. They have to deal with this. For the rest of their life, they will actually be sexually attracted to someone who looks like their child predator. It's that sad. Okay. And I don't blame anyone. I don't blame myself. This is some kind of imprinted mechanism that happens. So, being touched like this, when you go into puberty, you think this is the sexual guy. It's an imprint. It's an early imprint. Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely horrific. I had a child molester who looked just like Danny. I'm not kidding. Same eyes, same face, fat. He was kind of bald because he didn't have the kinky hair, but very similar face, same behavior, pedophile, always coming to my parents. Where's Nikki? Where's Nikki? I gotta find her. Yeah, where's she? I was like, that guy's coming. Carl. I was running. I was running for my life. I'd be hiding under my bed. He would find me. My parents weren't there to protect me at all. He would find me. He would touch me all over my body. For a child, this is extremely traumatic. Very traumatic. So, don't do this anymore to children. Leave children alone. Protect children. Then we make the world into a paradise. Don't buy pesticides. Don't hurt another living being. Don't use a killer petroleum side product, petrochemical, harsh chemical, lab created killer type of solution on anything. Don't do it on your body. Don't take pharma drugs. They're extremely harsh and they're really hard on the liver. This is the truth. Okay? Don't use it on anything in the environment. This is the truth. Then we make the world a better place. If you abstain from all of these things, from these terrible things, don't hurt another living being anymore. In any way, don't hunt anymore. Don't kill any being. Don't cause an injury to any living being. Don't hit anyone. Don't punch anyone. Don't molest anyone. Okay. Then we make the world into a better place. Okay. We can do it. You have an inner child in you, mafia man. Okay. There is an inner child there. You've buried that child under rubble of military, mafia, greed, corporate agenda, the idea of self-importance, the idea of I better take before someone else takes. You buried your child all the way down in this horror. Clean that rubble up and free that inner child. And tell that inner child, I'm coming to rescue you. You will be safe. And you and I, we can be one unit again. And there will be no mafia standing between us. There will be no ego necessary that comes in as a side effect drug of a side effect drug of a side effect drug. That's what the ego is. Okay. There's no more side effect drug necessary on anything. Literally and psychologically and metaphorically. In any way. You don't need to drug yourself. You don't need to take narcotics so you can deal with a broken world. Why don't we fix the broken world? Then we don't have to take any side effect drugs or narcotics anymore. Fix the broken world and make your garden natural and make your life natural and help other people get a natural garden and natural life. Then we create a paradise. That's how we create a paradise. And I know that probably, most likely, people are not going to listen. But I make these videos anyway, because what if they do listen? Maybe then I helped with my videos, right? But if people don't listen, then you continue in your misery. You continue with your toxic poisons, and eventually you go under the knife. You have liver transplant, heart surgery. And that's another intervention that is not necessary. That intervention gives doctors and surgeons a lot of money. They become rich. And your body is being mutilated. Mutilated by heart transplants, liver transplants, by gender change operations. You are being mutilated, and the surgeon makes a lot of money. They tell you, it's a simple operation, will be done, you can go back out in 2 days. No. If you have a liver transplant or you have your kidneys removed, you have to go once a week to get a kidney dialysis done. You suffer hellishly. You will suffer so much you can't even put a word to that type of suffering. If something is removed from your body, some vital organ, vital function, you will feel an incredible form of discomfort, and you don't even know how to describe it. No physician tells you that, warns you about that. I warn you about it. Don't do it. If you get a liver transplant, you get a young liver from a child or something that had a car accident or was murdered. This is happening too. Murdered for the organ transplant. These things are happening in the world. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is happening. It is greed. And it's a conspiracy of greed. And it's happening in the world. It's happening all over the planet. It happens much worse towards the equator. But it's happening in northern climates too. Okay? There are always greedy people. There are people that see dollar signs and they don't care. They hire hitmen, they pay nurses to make it look like an accident. And these people have their price, as Rockefeller said. And all of these people make the world into hell. Okay? Stop doing it. Stop, every one of you. And if the other ones don't do it, you do it. You stop doing this. You stop creating hell. Do it now. Stop the hell. Don't do it anymore. Don't pay someone to murder someone. Don't murder anyone with your own hands. Don't cause anyone suffering, injury, pain. Don't cause that on any living being. Then you are the participant in making the world a better place. If you don't do the horror, don't do horror anymore, then we make the world into a better place. Okay? If you are an airline flight coordinator, you take your job extra, ultra, extremely seriously. Okay? Because lives are literally in your hands. You don't pick up your phone. You don't look at your text messages. You turn that thing off. You really do. Okay? And you only look at the monitor of the different flights, and you monitor every flight, and you will let these pilots know, and the co-pilots, when they have to descend to prevent a collision. Peace.